We're here again with Buddy Cook, Basil Cook. I call him Buddy. And we were talking about our Uncle Henry. Uncle Henry, to me, was always a rough, tough motorcycle cop in Rochester. And literally, I was just a little kid, and we were scared to death of this man because he just seemed like the meanest, like an old-fashioned Hell's Angels. But Buddy saw a whole different person.
He was good to me. I liked him. He had a beautiful boat. This is 53. And it had this big engine, 22 horsepower. That was the biggest thing around. And you could hear it 3-4 miles away coming. That made so much noise. And I'd go with him on the river. Oh, yeah, that was great. I was more scared of Aunt Minnie because she was powerful, but he never said. He used to laugh. He'd laugh sometimes when he was talking. But, I enjoyed being with him. But he made a thing. I wish I knew where it was. It was about a foot by 12 inches by 12 inches. About a foot and a half long, high with glass on the bottom. And he used to stick that in the river. He had a big spotlight. And he put that in the water, and you could see fish in the St. Lawrence bigger than you've ever seen. In fact, I lived there for most of my life. Never seen fish as big. Because these are the fish that are down the deep part. And even though I know they caught a sturgeon there, 300 pounds. So you know how big some of these fish are in the St. Lawrence. You just never see them. But, Uncle Hank, I'll tell you, my last years with him, I seen him was in Rochester. Never changed, always a happy person. Yeah, I remember when he had the car accident, I hurt his wrist. Boy, I'll tell you, it was a lot of fun. But I was scared of Aunt Minnie.
Everybody was. And his son-in-law, Denny, who's Pogo's husband, he just says that Uncle Hank was the sweetest, kindest-hearted man on the planet. But I'll tell you, when we were kids, that's all we saw was at family reunions. We were terrified, and we stayed right the heck out of his way.
No way. Yeah,
those were the days.
You had to know Uncle Hank. But I was scared of it. She was a big person. She's, But she made me some catfish. Not only me, but she broiled some catfish one time. I couldn't eat it. Broiled. It was like a soup, Oh, I couldn't take it. But I like it. Baked or anything like that. I love it. But not that way. I wasn't, fish was. But Uncle Hank, and that boat was always shining. That boat was always.
What color was it?
It was a Thompson boat. Remember that?
Yep.
Blue top. The bow was blue. And varnished, nice. It was a beautiful boat. Boy.
And we're talking the St. Lawrence River, right on the edge of Quebec and New York State.
Yeah. It was fun. I couldn't wait, He'd say he'd be coming. Boy, you could hear him coming from miles away. Of course, we didn't have anything else in the river then to make any noise.
Yeah.
But, I think I was 9 or 10 years old. Boy. That's when he got hurt, I think, just about that time. I can't remember.
He got hurt bad.
Yeah. Right. That little window we used to have in the truck or a car.
Yep, butterfly window.
He had his arm out the window in that one there. And when it turned over, it crushed him. Yeah. It's like it's when he didn't get killed.
Right. Oh, yeah, it was a bad accident.
But, yeah, he's he was something.
Well, it's good to hear. He was such a nice fellow after all these years. I still would have nightmares about him.
Oh yeah, it was a lot of fun. Uncle Phil was another person. Super.
Uncle Phil was a fiddler.
Yeah.
Yep, and married to Aunt Mary.
See, I liked his son Phil.
Mm-hmm.
He was a lot older than me. I flew out of New York. Not too much. A couple of years later, and I thought of him every time I flew out of New York because his plane went up and down.
Uh-huh.
They were going to South America on an expedition. He was the leader. Yeah, I loved him. Oh, he was a smart person. Yeah, and I didn't know Elaine very good. Elaine was younger. Cookie. Nice. And, Elizabeth. Yeah, but she was older. Yeah. She's about 4 or 5 years older than me, I think. But, oh yeah. I remember when they lived in Hollingsburg. Then they moved away. Bye. But, see, everybody at Grandma's, that was the central. Everybody was there.
I remember the family reunions. Had to be 250, 300 people there.
Oh,
She'd start cooking a week in
cars
advance.
be all over the place. Sit in the front porch with all the old timers here listening to everything. My father played. Uncle Joyous played. Uncle Phil. They had their own band. Boy, and they'd play. The food there, you couldn't beat it. Best food in the world. Boy, I mean, Grandma made corn soup. We had Indian hat. Oh my God, the food they made. And Grandma, she made the best donuts in the world. They weren't greasy. Billy and I used to steal them. She'd make 3-4 dozen, hide a couple, and we'd find them. Drink the cream off the top of the milk. She'd have 2 bottles sitting overnight. Man, boy, was that cold in her house. No heat. First, I don't care how cold it was outside, there was no heat in the house.
There was one little register in the floor that sent the heat from the first floor
There was no heat
to the bedrooms.
The only heat,
I remember.
The only heat down there is when you started the fire in the morning.
Well, the one that I stayed in.
But and then Grandma made all these quilts. And I used to take my clothes and fold them up nice and neat, put them at the where my feet are at the bottom on the floor. Wake up in the morning, they were stiff as a board. So I'd sneak them in bed with me until they got warmed up, and then I'd get dressed. Then go down and drink the cream off the top of the milk. And then get undressed, put my clothes back there, and get back in bed. Oh, just like an oven. So nice. And Grandma would say, "Who drank the cream off the milk?" I don't know. I never got caught. At least she never said she did.
I was a very sickly kid when I was young, and I didn't have to go out with the boys and do the chores in the summer. I'd stay with Grandma. And she would start cooking a week to 2 weeks in advance of any of these family reunions because so many people coming. She'd have pies and cookies downstairs in the cellar. And by mistake, I would go down there to fetch something for her and maybe nibble 1 or 2 of them. And she'd always go down there and shake her head and go, "The mice must be back down here." And I figured she'd kill me. She never did. She's just the sweetest woman to me.
Oh, she was sweet. She never... Well, she used to get mad at Uncle Pete, though. Yeah, she didn't want him to drink. But, Grandma held the family together.
Oh, yes. The family reunions were incredible.
And then when she died, nobody knew each other. Then it split apart.
Must have been 10 years before the next big family reunion, I remember up there.
Long time. Yeah. Grandma died, it was 1969, I think it was right.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, she was 83. Yeah. Oh, Grandma was here. Oh, Grandpa gave us something. Man, we'd help him in the barn. Oh, say, we'd be milking the cows, feeding, and then the dog or a cat would come by and we'd give a little milk, and boy, Grandpa would get mad. Hey, boys. And we were all young. Jesus. But you all done with that cow? Yep. Then he'd sit down and get another bucket. Boy, he could strip a cow. He was something. But he was good to us. He just talked a little hard sometimes. He didn't, he was something.
It was interesting your statement about nobody ever went hungry on the reservation because they were subsistence farmers plus everybody had a garden.
Oh, yeah. I didn't, we had there was a lot of big families.
Nanny had 15 children.
Yeah, well, she had 16. One died at birth.
Right, but 15, you're right.
A short time later, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, and then she brought up Aunt May's child. Benny.
Yep.
Yeah, so amazing. I wish I had a picture. I don't know if anybody who's got a picture of the whole family when they're all the way up to my father. My father was the oldest.
I do. I'll get it to you.
Oh, you got one?
Yep, I'll get it to you.
Oh, I'd love that. Jeez. That's hard to believe. They all...
Yeah, like a pipe organ.
Oh, yeah. Jeez, I guess so.
Well, thank you, buddy. Let's go back and we'll find another story one day.